We were off on Friday and Sunday with our players and had a practice on Saturday afternoon. Did a few more things just in preparation for a big game next Saturday. I know our guys are excited to play for the Dakota marker. It's a great tradition, and I know our guys enjoy playing in that game. It'll be a great atmosphere, I'm sure, down at NDSU, and we're just continuing to progress this week. Obviously, getting outside each day this week and getting accustomed to the grass. That's probably the biggest thing that the open week has provided us, is giving us an opportunity to spend another 4 or 5 practices out on the grass, because it is a way different surface than playing on field turf, obviously, and we need to get out there again, and we'll see what the temperature and weather brings, if it's going to be dry or if it's going to be wet, but we're working in all sorts of those conditions. Even though it hasn't rained, we've had some wet balls out there and stuff, and so we're prepared and have to have a great week to go and play a really good SDSU team. So take any questions.
Coach, the challenges of getting ready for a night game, first you've had this season, what do you change for a routine, if anything?
More the day of the game. It's just kind of a longer time sitting around. I think that's the thing that a player would tell you, is you get up and usually just have your meetings pregame and let's go play. Now it's meetings or meetings. We'll have a walkthrough, kind of get them moving around a little bit late on Saturday morning. Then we'll have our pregame early afternoon, and that's more the challenge. Those guys just sitting around. I mean, all of our practices usually for us don't start till 5 o'clock anyway. So, I'd say you're mixed. Some guys really like it. I'd rather play them all at 11, but the guys would rather play them, later and stuff. So I think there'll be a little bit of challenge just from sitting around, but we'll be able to adjust.
So going into the bye week, you guys had a few nicks and bruises, and you were going to hold some people out. How's the health of the team looking right now?
Well, we had Jack Plankers practicing on Saturday some on a limited basis. We hope to move him forward this week. We still have some guys that haven't practiced. I'm concerned about Chase. He hasn't practiced yet. Concerned about Dimitri Williams. Hasn't practiced yet. Those two are the main ones. Lucas Albers has been bugged a little bit by a knee strain, but I think he's progressed forward. So this will be a big week. We'll find out what some guys can do today and tomorrow.
Your thoughts on the possibility of C.J. Smith going against Weineke?
Well, we won't man up Weineke the whole game. That's not worked for the first 3 opponents. In watching those games, people just play man-to-man coverage against him. He's too good. Obviously, CJ and Champ will have some of those opportunities, and it creates it just based on your calls. But he's a difference maker. He's right now playing at a really high level, and we can't plan on having somebody man-to-man on him the whole game. We've got to be able to know where he's at on the field at all times. They do a great job of moving him around, too. He's not just the field side guy or the boundary side guy. They'll put him in the slot. They'll do a lot of different things with him, but obviously he's a big focal point for our defense, so we've got to find ways to try to slow him down. Nobody's going to shut him down. He's too good a player.
How do you prepare for something like that? You have this guy who plays him for something on the scout team?
Yeah, you try, just so you know exactly where he's at. But you be careful about just following jersey numbers, because if the guy lines up in the backfield, your corner doesn't know what to do and stuff. But you just got to be aware of where he's at, and knowing where the help is potentially, and without totally fracturing everything you do defensively. We could say we're going to double him on every snap, and then they're going to run the ball 50 times, and you're going to be short in the run game. So you've got to be able to mix and match how you're able to disguise some things where you're looking like maybe you're doubling and then getting that guy in the box, or looking like you're going to play an 8 or 9 man box and falling back out and doubling him.
A lot in his post-game press conferences the last several years about how frustrated he is not to get past you guys. Do you feel like he kind of throws a little extra at you guys? Like you guys have to prepare for something you won't see the rest of the year from the Jackrabbits?
Not necessarily. Beth, it seems like you go back and look at some of those games. We'll throw a wrinkle in, they'll throw a wrinkle in. but I don't think you're going to change what we do offensively, change what they do offensively, or defensively for that matter. It's still they're going to play how they play, and we're going to do what we do, and it's going to come down to being able to execute, being able to control the line of scrimmage. I think both teams' offensive and defensive fronts are really good, and that's going to be a pivotal factor, who wins the line of scrimmage. And then your playmakers got to make plays, and obviously Weineke's an unbelievable playmaker, and he's made a ton of plays. Now, who's going to be that for us, as well as can we limit how many plays he makes? So I don't think you're going to see a lot of different things game plan-wise. It's execution and then turnovers. You just can't turn the ball over in a critical game like this.
Is there a different tone at practice this week now that you guys are into conference play?
Well, we'll find out. I mean, today's our first practice for the week, but it's just in conference in general, it does get ramped up quite a bit, and the guys are excited, obviously, about getting into conference play. It's just we've had a strange start to the preseason because we haven't been in a routine yet, and this will be our first week of somewhat of a routine in the fact we have a conference game, but then we'll get going with 8 in a row. But we've been on a week, off a week, and just different days off and those things. So the challenge now is 1 week at a time, 8 weeks in a row. So it'll be a gauntlet to go through.
Chris, they've got a new stadium going. How important are facilities? Why are they important in the Valley?
I'm sorry, Jeff?
They got a new stadium going. How important are facilities in the Valley, or why are they important?
They're paramount in recruiting. Obviously, you can see some of the pictures on video of the previous games. The visiting side and the end zone look really, really nice, and you can't see obviously the home side. But they're so important in recruiting and trying to keep up with schools that are building things and having a lot of great things to show. I think they're pushing the envelope. I know we are pushing the envelope to try to give our student athletes the best that we can offer and give those guys a place where they can call home for 4.5, 5 years. And you can tell SDSU's made a commitment, just like we've made that great commitment as well.
How much fun have these games been since you've been here? The games with the Jacks, for the most part, have been down to the wire.
Yeah, they've been great games, and that's the Missouri Valley, and that's two teams that know each other so well. This will be the 7th time in my 5 years that we've played them, and all of them. I know we've been on the positive end of those, but they've all had some adversity to them. Number of could have gone either way. Comes down to a play here and there. I think it brings the best out in both teams. It's not one of those things you're going to have to give a big rah-rah speech for because we just know each other so well. And the staffs, I think there's a tremendous amount of respect too, Dom, between our staff and their staff and the players. We said last year when we were playing those guys after they beat Montana State in that playoff game, I thought they were one of the top 4 teams in the country at that time. I really did, and it just so happened we played them in that second round game. But it's a great atmosphere. It'll be a lot of fun for our guys. It'll be a lot of fun for fans too.
Coach, how different are they without Sumner and Zenner? It may sound obvious, but are they still the same type even without those two guys there?
Yeah, they really are. They're not doing anything schematically differently. They're still going to line up in Wildcat. They're just putting a different guy other than Zenner back there, and that's been really successful for them for 3 weeks in the non-conference. The quarterback's doing a tremendous job. I mean, it's not anything earth-shattering. They're looking and seeing, okay, you're going to stack up everybody to stop the run. We're going to wish you luck on your one-on-one coverage with Weineke's. We're going to beat you, and if you're going to go double those guys, then they've got good enough front people and good enough schemes in the run game that they're going to pound it at you. And they've been able to, be very successful. Just seeing what the defense is giving you and saying, okay, we're gonna throw the heck out of it because last week that's what they did. They threw for a number of yards because Robert Morris just stacked everybody in there and said you're not going to run the ball. And teams that are going to put everybody in pass coverage, they've got the ability to run it. So I don't think they've changed much at all. I think it's just different for our guys not seeing those two staples for them playing quarterback and running back.
You guys have really only seen late game adversity this season against Montana, knowing that games with SDSU are never quite finished. Do you guys reevaluate that a little bit differently this week? Approach it, not that you guys have ignored it over the last few weeks, but.
No, you just draw on your experiences, positive and negative. There's a number of kids that were, most of our roster was at least involved in those two games last year, some more significantly than others. But you draw upon your experiences, and you hope your leaders, you hope your playmakers are the guys that are in those positions to help you make the plays. But sooner or later, it's going to be that freshman, that sophomore that hasn't played very much, but you hope he's seasoned enough because of the experiences of watching somebody before him that we're going to find out on Saturday a lot about some of the kids that there's nobody that's really young anymore. You've played 3 games, let's go. Now you're into conference season, and we're not going to be able to say, boy, that guy was young, he just shouldn't, put him in a bad spot. Well, everybody's got those guys, and now you just got to go out and play and put your best 11 out there on each significant play and go. And we'll still rotate a lot of guys. We're still going to play a lot of guys simply because we feel we have to. But no, we won't do anything differently.
Coach, how big is it to have Blankers back?
It's big from a depth standpoint. I don't know how much Jack will play. I'll probably be able to give you more information probably at the end of the day Tuesday. See how much he can do today and tomorrow. But we'll have him out there, and he'll play that guard spot, and he can still back up the tackle position as well. It just gives us another experienced body. I think it helps our run game, especially our inside run game, because he's 330 pounds and he can push the pile and get movement. And I think it's a comfort level for all of us just to get another guy back there. That maybe Zemer's got to play 25 or 30 snaps and not 60 snaps, because that's tough.
Hello, Zach Johnson, where is he at?
I know he has a doctor's appointment midweek this week, and we'll find out more about him. I think they've got to re-x-ray it.
Do you need to get Chase some practice reps to make sure that he can play, or is it something where he can go without practice?
Yeah, no, we'd need to get him some practice reps, and that's where we're concerned. Is we ran him on Saturday, and he didn't run as well as we probably had hoped, and so yesterday was off. We'll find out what can happen today and tomorrow, the next 2 days, because we're still going to have pretty good practices Monday and Tuesday before we taper it back Wednesday and Thursday, and we need to be able to see him just from a timing standpoint, do some things.